What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Sonic. Today we're going to be installing our front camera selector for this Lexus LC 500H along with our B-Cam 11A front camera. They pair together very wonderfully. Basically blends in with the front grille. Looks really, really good. It's all plug and play. Let me show you how to install the easy way. We had some installation videos before showing the difficult way. Now you don't have to remove the radio or the top screen, and you can just plug it directly to the back of the screen. And then the most difficult part, of course, is gonna go routing the wire through the firewall. So let me show you how to do all that today. All right guys, so we're gonna work on the interior portion of our front camera interface installation. So the first thing we wanna do is, before we had to remove the whole screen to get behind to the connectors behind the screen. But this time we're just gonna remove this grill up here. So just grab a panel removal tool, something like this. Use a plastic one so you don't damage your interior. Just pry it out. All right. Pry this out. It's all just only being held by clips. All right. Be very careful that you do not damage the speaker. And right when you open it, you'll notice that there's two 10mm bolts. So we're gonna remove them. All right. Okay, once you remove those, let's pull this speaker out, and you'll find that there's a connector here. Push down on the release tab, pull out. And once you're down here, I know by feel this connector right here, okay? This is the connector you have to remove. And this is what connects to our front camera interface connector right here. So let me show you how that works. So here is the CS11A. So this CS11A is the camera selector. All right, and this is what it connects to, the back of the screen, and also some RCA cables. Let me pre-connect all this for you, just show you how everything connects. So of course this connects to the back of the screen. The other connector connects to the original connector that was to the screen. We unplug it, we plug it in here. Here it is, and this connector here connects right here. So we have a lot of videos showing you how all this connects together, so you can review the other videos if you wish. And all these other cables, they're all color coordinated. You can just match up the wire colors to this main harness. Be careful not to tangle them up. Just connect them one at a time. And when you're pushing in these bullet connectors together, make sure you feel it like clip in and secure, because if you don't push it in enough, it could come loose later on. So make sure you push it down all the way. So once again, it's just, you're just matching up all the colors. All right, cool. So everything is connected except for the RCA cables. So now let's connect the RCA cables. All right. So we have these here. We also have these. All right. So the male part. All right. The male part. This is output on here. So basically, we're getting the camera signal and we're outputting it to the screen. All right. Makes sense. Let's connect it to the output. All right, okay, like that. And then the other side is gonna be the backup camera, right? So this is the backup camera signal coming in from the factory connector, all right? Which will connect to the backup cam. And the front cam will connect to our front camera. All right, so while we have all these wires here, before I clean them up, let me connect the front cam. So we're gonna grab our front camera box, and in the front camera box you'll find the harness. So harness, there's the front camera side and there's the harness side. The harness side is gonna look like this. So the RCA connects here, and then we will tap the red and the black. So that's accessory wire and the ground wire. We're going to tap it into the harness right here, the red and the black wire. All right, so we're going to use the pole C tap. We like using that. The rest of the front camera here, we are going to keep it in the box. We're going to have Shin at AT230 routed for us at the shop. So let me put this back in the box. So here is our pole C tap. The CS11A kit comes with one of them. The other one's for ground, so you could add a ground terminal, ground it anywhere in your car's chassis. But we're gonna grab one more of this from our bench and connect both to the factory or to the CS11A harness. And also, I almost forgot to mention, is this button for our CS11A selector. This is how it looks. And this button here also comes with a lot of these other brackets, fittings to fit into the blank switches, but unfortunately none of them will work on this. Why doesn't it work on this? Because if you actually open this and you bring it out, back of this is one piece circuit board. It's a circuit board, basically needs to break apart the whole entire assembly to make it work with this, so it won't work in the LC, unfortunately. All right, so these don't work. So instead, we're going to mount this somewhere around here. We like to put it around here, somewhere, double side tape it, and we'll just route this cable to up there to connect to this module. All right, so we'll walk you through that. So for now, going to just put these button enclosures away so I could keep everything clean. So basically what I want to do is organize these, clean it up, and we're only going to be routing this right here. This is your front camera from here to the passenger footwell. And from the passenger footwell, it's gonna go through the firewall that Shin's going to route for us, and then to the front bumper, okay? Let me go grab one more pole C tap. I'll be right back. All right, now we have two pole C taps. You guys could splice into those other wires with any other methods if you wish. It's just our personal preference. So let's get these two wires prepared. Let me undo this wire ties, and just as a warning, once you do this wire ties, you're gonna have a lot of extra wires. Just make sure to not get them tangled up and keep them organized. All right, so I'm going to just cut off the tips on these. Let's strip some of this wire, the edge. Like about 1.5 inches is fine. Let's twist them. Okay. Going to grab the red side of the pole C tap and let's screw them in. Let's do it on the other side as well for our ground wire. All right, once it's tight, let's go to this harness and let's locate. Here's the red wire and here's the black wire. So you want to find the red and the black wire that's going to the selector, and we're going to tap into there. So I recommend doing it after the fuse. I know it's fused here. We'll have a separate fuse for the front camera, because if one of the fuse goes off, you don't want both devices to not work. So let's put it before that fuse. All right, and then once you twist it on here, just remove it once to confirm that it did pierce through, which it did. Almost all the time it'll pierce through. It'll pierce through, most likely just pierce through, but just want to double check, because you don't want to end up undoing all your electric tape if it didn't go through. Once again, we'll do it on the ground wire. Okay, and then let me just double check it went through. All right, looks good. And before I screw it in, because it's gonna screw in clockwise, I like to pre-coil this part here, the red part, counterclockwise, and then turn it in so that you don't give too much twist on the wire. All right, so everything's connected. And next, I am going to use some electric tape. You can use some Tesa tape or some wire loom. Let's clean up these wires a bit so they don't look all tangled up. And then after I'm done cleaning it up, we will plug it in behind the screen and we'll route this down to the passenger footwell. All right, I'll do that now. All right, just to let you guys know, there's gonna be a lot of extra front camera RCA wires. So I just coiled them up like here, just to organize it. I kept this separate from here because I didn't wanna make this harness too thick. So when we mount it to the back of the screen, I'll have more movement that I could separate out this part to that. All right, and then the rest of the cable here, let me just organize this with some electric tape. And all that's left is gonna be this right here. All right, this point that we need to route. All right, so let's start doing the routing. Let's actually route this button first. I'm gonna use this. We have some wires. We're going to push this down. We're gonna catch the wire from down here. All right, guys, so it's here. I am going to tape up the connector side of the button and just pull that cable back up. Awesome. All right, terrific. The trick is use a lot of tape so it doesn't come off. If it encounters some obstacles, that you could just push through it. And also make sure you cover up the connector because the connector part could get caught onto something. All right, got this up here. And this side will just connect to a small connector right here. Like so. All right, so everything's connected here. And next, I'm gonna just feel out for this connector, unplug it, and we're gonna daisy chain on here. Let me show you how that's done. Okay, here it is, right here. This is it. So right here, it's black in color on the factory side. Connect to our harness. Okay, and then let's plug it back in. There it is. And then the next step is to route this cable to the passenger side. So we're gonna go do the same method we did when routing the cable to the driver's side, the button. All right, so while we're routing down here, we notice that there's an under tray. Just gotta drop this, push down the release tab, and then you could easily just pull it down. We'll disconnect the light. Let's press down the release tab and push out. Nice. All right, got it successfully routed down here. Okay, so now we're going to tape this end, tape it up pretty good, and we're gonna pull it down. And when you're taping this up, just make sure you tape over the connector. You don't want that part to be loose. If it's loose, it could get caught onto something. And make sure you tape it all the way down. You want this wire and the metal wire to act as basically one. Okay, now let's go through. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, I got it. Yeah. There we go. Here we are. It does require a little finesse and wiggling, but once you do, you'll get it out here, just like this. All right, terrific. So this is routed here. Now, we just need to tuck all this back here, and that will complete the inside car portion of this front camera adapter. And of course, we do need to mount this. I'm gonna mount it here. We'll do that once we finalize the front camera mounting at AT230 with Shin. And then just mount the speaker back and just reverse order everything we did, and then that completes the inside part of the front camera. All right, that's it. And then just gotta put the under panel back on. I will keep this wire along this side over here. All right, okay. Gonna leave this here for now until we get the other part of the front camera harness routed through the firewall. All right, now we'll head on over to AT230 to get the front camera mounted on the front bumper and have the cable routed to the firewall to plug into this. All right, guys, we finally made it out here to AT230 Cars and Coffee in La Habra. This is a spot, guys, if you want to get some coffee and get your car worked on. You could get wheels, you can get your alignment done, and you can get B-Sonic products also installed here while waiting in the waiting room, sipping on some really good espresso. And we like to bring our customers' cars here to get our front camera mounted. Shin is a man when it comes to installing our front camera to make it look factory. So for this vehicle here, we are going to remove the front license plate because it's gonna be in the way of the front camera. It's gonna be flush mounted right at the opening of the grill. So it's gonna look factory fitted. You won't even see that it's there. So it'll look pretty amazing. So Shin over here is getting things started.
Hello guys.
All right, okay. Awesome.
Let's get started.
Let's get started. All right guys, so I'm gonna run you through the installation Shin's gonna be doing. So it's gonna remove these plastic covers out here. It's gonna mount the front camera to the front grill. It's gonna route the cabling through this side and through the passenger side grommet. This is a hybrid model, so there's a battery here. It's a little bit in the way, but Shin has its own way of getting it through the grommet. And once it's in there, the cable, front camera cable, is gonna come out through the bottom, right here. All right, let's drop the under panel. It's being held by clips. Push down the release tab and pull down. All right. And let's remove this light harness here. Always push down the release tab. And here is the harness cable. Here's the harness that's going to connect to the rest of the front camera. All right, and let's grab our front camera. We're gonna remove this bracket here. We don't need it for this Lexus LC, and instead, Shin is going to make a custom one. And this part is what connects to the connector that's in the passenger side. And the other thing we're gonna do is mount our button. Okay, here's our tape. All right guys, so far, Shin went ahead and removed all these plastic panels here. It's pretty easy to remove. You just gotta push in these plastic clips in and it comes off very easily. We have it off to the side for now. And next step is to locate the grommet and puncture a hole to route our camera cable. It is right here to the left side of this hybrid battery. All right, so let's also remove the door sills on the side here, just so we get a better view of the grommet. So all this needs to be removed. And then also the side panel. The Lexus LC is a wider vehicle, so you'll find that there's more additional interior parts to cover up the wideness of the vehicle. A good strategy or a good point to keep in mind is always follow the clip, how it's pointed, and then just pull with the same angle of the clip. So once you pull a little bit, you'll see it, and then just pull at the same angle. If you, like for example, this one is pointing here, so you just gotta pull this way. All right, so don't be pulling it up or down, you're gonna end up breaking the clips. We're also gonna remove the side panel plastic piece And let's also release the clips inside that's holding the carpet in place. So we're gonna get behind the carpet and just look deep under there to find the inside part of the grommet. Okay, so if you look behind here, and you need to actually look all the way up. It's very hard to see it from this angle, but you can definitely feel it. Okay, all the way up here. So stick your hand in there. It's around this area here, all the way back. And that's where the rubber grommet is on the car side. And this is what we're gonna be connecting the front camera harness to. And if you're curious about what this is over here, this is our S-Connect kit. So we also installed a CarPlay Android Auto retrofit to this Lexus LC as well. All right, we are ready to poke a hole on this grommet. Can I see your tool? All right, here's a magic tool that Shin made.
Yeah, I created this one like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's still holding up.
Yeah.
JDM quality.
Yeah, came straight from Japan.
Yeah, it came straight from Japan. I don't know if you guys could point it out, but it's down there. So this is what Shin's doing on one side. The hole has been pierced and the wire is coming through. So Shin's just locating the other side of the cable. He's gonna be pulling it. And all he needs to do is attach it to the rest of the cable here. And then clean up the wires, mount the button on the driver's side, and that's it, guys. It's that simple. All right, guys, the next step is removing the grill so he has better access to the front of the grill. He's gonna be mounting a bracket from the crash beam all the way to the grill.
Classified.
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 All right, classified. Classified bracket info. Team here is making some brackets. Some 10 millimeters to remove. And let's also remove some clips as well. And on this Lexus LC, there's a front license plate. We're gonna remove this so that's not in the way of the front camera install. If you do wanna keep the front license plate, you can custom mount it. The bracket will just need to be much longer so that it'll hang out right under the license plate. But without the license plate, we can flush mount it inside the grill, which looks much nicer. Looks like factory fitted. Look at that EG Civic. Nice. All right, guys, so Shin has the custom made bracket right here. He has a makeshift camera on there just for test fitment purpose. And he's going to be bolting it on onto the crash beam, marked in orange tape right there. Just route the cable through. All right, let's see the final outcome once it's done. All right, everything is almost done. Let me just do a really quick test to make sure everything is working as it should. Went ahead and mounted the button right up here. We did some cable routing just to keep it clean and stealth. All right, there it is. That's the front camera. As you can see here, that is the end of the front lip to ensure that you don't hit anything while you're parking the car. Press it again, it'll show the backup camera. And press it a third time, and then it'll go back to whatever screen you were at, either the factory screen, in this case, the CarPlay screen. There it is. I'm pushing and holding the map button and go between CarPlay. So this is an aftermarket part also offered by Sonic USA. It's the S-Connect kit. So this front camera function, there is a timer on this. So default is 15 seconds. So when I press it in 15 seconds, it'll go back to the original factory screen. Even for the backup camera, it'll be 15 seconds and automatically go back. You can set the timer to different durations. You can also turn off the timer so that if you want it to stay on until you press the button again, you can do so as well. So this has many different functions. All right, guys, well, that concludes the front camera installation on this Lexus LC 500. If you guys want to get your front camera installed, hit up Shin at AT230. He's the man when it comes to front camera installation. And this is one of those investments that needed to save your overall cost. You don't want to end up damaging your car, busting your front lip, or when you're parking your car, easier to park. And also if you have Toyota trucks, or say that if you have any trucks, it'll help you out when you're off-roading your car as well. Well, that's it guys. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, help our channel by giving us a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you very much. See you guys on the next video.
Look, I don't take no loss, it's simple. I'ma stand up, guy, walk 10 toes. Looking in the mirror, who better than me? Got their hands high, tell them that I'm out.